Hey my raspberry macarons, welcome to this video. New year, new you, okay? This year you are finally going to become an academic weapon, and I'm going to be giving you literally all the advice, all my favourite tips that I have in this video as someone who got all 9s at GCSEs, all A stars in my year 12 mocks because I'm in year 13 right now. I haven't done my A levels yet. And someone who has been going to an all-girls grammar school for 6 years now, so you know I've got the best advice. Also, I'm Chinese, if that helps. So hopefully with this video, becoming an academic weapon can be a full lifestyle transformation rather than just like a 1 month New Year's resolution that you give up on. The way that this video will be laid out is the first section will be all about mindset and lifestyle factors because they're really important. They're basically your foundation, and without them you won't be able to support your whole academic weapon lifestyle. And then I will talk about your environment in terms of like physical environment and people you surround yourself with. And then at the end, I'll talk about actual studying methods and things like that. So the first point that I want to make is you need to be able to fall in love with the process and with the journey of learning and expanding your knowledge and increasing your understanding of the world. You know, like, don't think of studying as a chore or revision as something that you have to force yourself to do. Also, it's a privilege to learn. I think that's something that is really important to keep in mind. There are so many people out there, not even in just like random countries you've never really heard of before. Like, literally, I bet in the country, in the city, in the place where you live now, there are people who wish that they had the opportunity and the time to learn like you do. So don't just waste your time away scrolling, watching brainrot reels or something. Also, have a positive mindset. I know it's easier said than done, but the more that you focus on the wins and don't let like bad test scores, like a bad test score or something, drag you down, okay? Because that will demotivate you and then you'll just be back to square one. Focus on the positives, and if you don't do as well, then using a growth mindset, which is also really important, think of that as like an obstacle that you are able to overcome. And it like, challenges are meant to stretch you, but then you will emerge from the light at the end of the tunnel, kind of. Don't punish yourself if you mess up. That's normal, that's human. And don't use a mistake to kind of like say to yourself, oh, this is just proof that I'm a failure, this is proof that I'll never be an academic weapon. No, stop that critical self-doubt or whatever, and reframe it as, okay, so this studying method doesn't work for me, I'm going to try something else and then get a better test score. And also, like, don't place these limits on you and think that, okay, if you're failing now, you'll only be able to get to average at the max. No. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to, anything that you set as a goal for yourself. If you work towards that, you will get there. And I think that's what's great about studying. If you put your mind to it, you will get there. That's just guaranteed. If you choose and keep using the right studying methods, you will get there. Finding a purpose to continue to motivate you, even when you don't feel like it, you're tired, and even when you feel stupid, I guess, like, to help you keep going on. I know a lot of people do it for their parents, a lot of people do it because they just want to be the best, I guess. I think it's good to also have it as an internal thing, not relying on like external validation, okay? Like, not doing it for academic validation or because you think your teacher's really fit and you want to be really good in that class. Doing it because you want to be the best version of yourself and you want to see how well and how far you can go, basically. And this is a model that I think is really good. You have your inner self and then your outer actions. So at the start, it will take some time getting used to if you're not used to revising, but like studying so that you then change your inner self, your inner dialogue, into someone who isn't an academic weapon to someone who is an academic weapon, who is straight A-star student and everything like that. But you have to really believe that you are an academic weapon, and so then your outer actions like revising every day become so much more natural to you. And I think this is why a lot of people, they have like a burst of they have a burst of motivation and they revise for like a week and then they just give up, because it goes against what they've conditioned or programmed themselves to think. If you keep thinking and telling yourself that you are stupid, and you've done that for so many years, then revising and studying every day just doesn't make sense to you, because it doesn't align with you, like your character. You need to be able to kind of shift your identity, and then your outer actions will also naturally just follow with that. And also use any like good results that you get in tests, etc., to really boost your ego and to really like reinforce the idea that yes, I am an academic weapon, yes, I am smashing my exams, whatever. Okay, it's like, so you really embody that, the like idea, the identity of being an academic weapon. So onto lifestyle factors, and I know you've all heard this before, but I'm telling you, if you don't have these locked down, you will not, if you're not locked in on these, you basically won't be able to support all the other factors of being an academic weapon, essentially. So obviously good sleep hygiene, like never ever do an all-nighter. Try to be as consistent as possible with your sleep routine as well. Good diet, like don't be eating ultra processed food. Put down the protein bar. That is not a meal. And drink water. Drink still water, okay? Put down the monster can, put down the 3rd cup of coffee of the day, and drink some water. And go on walks, do some exercise. Like exercise, I think, helps so much in terms of like brain clarity and reducing mind fog and stuff like that. So now onto your environment. Sometimes it really is that damn phone. Put it in another room where you cannot see it, and even if it is in the same room, if you know that it's there, you're going to kind of want to go and reach for it. So I think putting it in a different room is really beneficial. Don't listen to songs with lyrics because it will distract you, like even if you don't really think it does. Like I really like revising to rain sounds or like subliminals and stuff like that. And you can make your study space really aesthetic. Make sure it's not cluttered, and you can make it aesthetic with candles. Something that I've been doing recently that I think is quite useful is you can kind of like Pavlov yourself into getting into like that revision headspace by lighting a specific candle, or like drinking a specific tea, or just drinking general. I just love tea. Or using like a specific mug with that as well. So using small habits to really like boost your studying like sessions. Also, don't go on your phone where your study space is as well, because then your mind will start to associate that place with other activities other than studying too. And finally, surround yourself with similarly ambitious and driven people who also want to get the best grades, who are willing to put in the effort so that their future selves will thank them. Because if you're surrounding yourself with people who literally do not give an F about revision, like they're going to drag you down as well. You know the quote, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. It's so true. So surround yourself with people who you admire and you respect and who are similar to you, basically. Okay, finally, for studying methods. Wait, let me go get my glasses. I feel like I'm about to be really intellectual right now. This is so like office siren, academic intellectual core. Wait, it's kind of giving that guy in Tokyo, the street interviewer, low-key. So you basically have this pyramid of ring lights reflecting in my glasses. Never mind, scratch that. So learning things is like a pyramid, right? And you've got 4 levels, and so each level has different methods that will vary between people, vary between subjects that you're learning as well. And so it's important to find and utilize the ones that work best for you. So firstly, reading and processing information on like the bottom level. So that's like going through your textbook, highlighting things. Some people are better as audio learners, so maybe listening to a podcast or a video or something. And then after processing the information, you need to be able to understand the information, understand the concept or the process or the series of events that happen. So maybe summarizing the information and writing out like a paragraph explaining a topic. The Feynman technique, which is where you explain it to somebody who doesn't know the subject or the topic. So it really forces you to be able to understand the entire thing, because it's like you understand the fundamentals of it, of whatever you're trying to explain. So that's a good test to see if you actually understand what you're talking about. Using mind maps can be really helpful in some subjects to really link processes together, and also drawing out diagrams yourself if that is relevant to your subject. Like I don't think diagrams would be that useful in like history unless you're just drawing out the people. And then after understanding, you have to be able to memorize it, because you can understand it, but if you can't memorize, because sadly exams are a lot of the time based on how well you can regurgitate the information. So active recall, I'm sure you've heard before. Flashcards, really useful. Blurting, also really useful. But it's really important that you try and implement spaced repetition, otherwise you will just forget what you've memorized like after a while. So you need to be able to keep coming back to the content that you're learning. So I really like using Anki flashcards because I don't have to go and manually decide when to do my next flashcard. It just pops up. Then after memorization, you need to be able to apply this information to a question. So basically past paper questions, be familiar with all types of questions. And also when you get questions wrong in your practice exams, which I think you should do timed, that's really useful. Keeping like a question bank of the ones that you've gotten wrong that you can go back to is also really useful. Also, focus in lessons, like engaging with the discussions that are happening in the classroom is an easier way of like retaining the information more. And if you don't understand something, talk to a teacher. Talk to a teacher. They're there to help you learn. Hopefully they've got a degree in the subject that they're teaching. And if they're not good, you can use the internet, you can use AI. Parkinson's law is this like theory, I guess, that states that work expands to fit the time that you allocate to it. So if you say, I'm going to spend 1 hour doing essay prep, but it would only take like half an hour to write like an essay plan, then it will just stretch out to 1 hour. So that is a way that you can study more efficiently by giving yourself like, obviously don't be too harsh, but like time frames, like a shorter time block allocated to it. And with that, then you can prioritize harder subjects and give them more time. Prioritization, I think, is really important. Do the things that are worth more. Like I know it's really tempting, but don't spend your time doing the easy stuff. Even if they give you an ego boost because you're like, yeah, I know all this content. Focus on the questions that you get wrong or the topics that you find harder to grasp. Using a study routine can really help with implementing like discipline, or making discipline easier because you know that you've just got to do it then. And aligning your study routine and like when you study to your hours of peak productivity. So I talk about this quite a lot, but I like working in the evenings rather than the mornings. I just think evenings, I don't know, it's like I'm like, okay, I got to lock in now because it's the end of the day. You can also schedule your breaks, but find out what time intervals work best for you. So I don't use Pomodoro because I feel like 25 minutes is quite short and you don't really get into that flow state. So I use 50 minutes working with 10-minute breaks, and then I would do like maximum 2 of them back to back. I need to get this point across. Find out what works best for you. Trial all the different methods that you hear about, because like each study method is not like a one size fits all. And also really important is constantly reflecting on what works best for you. Failing a test does not mean that you are stupid, but it just means that the way that you revised, the way that you studied just didn't work for you. Or maybe you just needed to spend more time. So don't embody the idea that failing is an issue with yourself. I need to get that out. So finally, just to end this, start small if you need to and work up to the level that you want to get to. And I have complete faith in you, and I think you're going to smash 2025, smash your exams and become an academic weapon. So wishing you all the best, and I hope you have a great day. Love you guys.